Welcome to our deep dive into the unsettling truth about our modern society. Are we truly advancing or are we regressing into barbarism? We live in a world of incredible technological advancement, a world where we can communicate across continents in an instant, where medical marvels push the boundaries of life itself. Yet with all this progress, there's a shadow lurking, a dark side to our story. We launch wars with drone strikes, faceless conflicts fought from afar. We talk about casualties as numbers on a screen, forgetting the individual lives, the families shattered, the futures extinguished. What does it say about us, about our humanity, when we can inflict such suffering without a second thought, without truly understanding the weight of our actions? We're supposed to be evolving, but are we? Or are we becoming more efficient at destruction, more numb to the cost of conflict? There's a disconnect, man, a terrifying gap between our technological prowess and our moral compass. Look at the violence within our own societies, beheadings, mass shootings, hate crimes. It's like we're regressing to a primal state, driven by fear, anger, and tribalism. We've become desensitized to the horrors, bombarded with so much violence through media that it barely registers anymore. It's like we're living in a constant state of low-grade shock, unable to process the sheer brutality of it all. And the worst part? We accept it. We shrug our shoulders, say it's just the way things are, and move on with our lives. We build walls, not bridges. We arm ourselves to the teeth, not to protect against some external threat, but against each other. Think about that for a second. Our fear, our mistrust runs so deep that we're willing to turn on our own kind. We've created a culture of fear where every stranger is a potential enemy, every interaction laced with suspicion. That's not progress, man. That's paranoia. That's a society teetering on the edge of collapse. Animal kindness. It's crazy, right? We consider ourselves the most intelligent species on the planet, yet we engage in such senseless violence. You look at animals in the wild, sure, there's competition, there's survival of the fittest, but there's also cooperation, empathy, even altruism. Elephants mourning their dead, chimpanzees adopting orphans, dolphins protecting humans from sharks. These creatures, these animals, often display more humanity than we do. It makes you question everything, doesn't it? Survival of the cruelest. We talk about evolution, about the survival of the fittest. But what good is survival if we lose our humanity along the way? What good is progress if it comes at the cost of compassion, of empathy? We're becoming cold, calculating machines, driven by greed and self-interest. We exploit each other, the planet, all in the name of advancement. But at what point do we stop and ask ourselves, is this really progress? Or are we just creating a world that's increasingly hostile, not just to the environment, but to ourselves? Economic growth versus human lives. We prioritize economic growth over human well-being. We sacrifice our health, our relationships, our very souls at the altar of profit. We're told it's all about competition, about getting ahead, about accumulating wealth. But what good is wealth in a world devoid of compassion, of connection? What's the point of all this progress if we're too busy chasing the almighty dollar to enjoy it? We've become slaves to the system, man, cogs in a machine that chews us up and spits us out without a second thought. In human modern society, we've created a society that's efficient, technologically advanced, and utterly inhumane. We're disconnected from each other, from nature, from ourselves. We walk through life staring at our phones, oblivious to the world around us, to the suffering of others. We've become so caught up in our own little bubbles that we've lost sight of what it means to be human, to connect, to care. It's a lonely existence, man, and it's only getting worse. We're bombarded with images of violence, of suffering from a young age. Video games, movies, the news, it's everywhere. And the more we see it, the less it affects us. We become numb to it, desensitized to the horrors that humans are capable of inflicting on each other. This desensitization is dangerous, man. It allows us to distance ourselves from the reality of violence, to see it as something that happens to other people, not to us. And that makes it easier to accept, to tolerate, even to perpetuate. Technology, for all its wonders, is also driving us apart. We're more connected than ever before, yet lonelier than ever. We have thousands of online friends, but struggle to maintain meaningful relationships in the real world. We're so busy crafting our online personas, chasing likes and followers, that we neglect the people right in front of us. We've traded genuine connection for fleeting digital validation, and it's leaving us empty, man, empty and alone. The erosion of Empathy, that's the real danger here. That's the slippery slope that leads to true barbarism. When we lose our ability to understand and share the feelings of others, when we no longer see ourselves reflected in their struggles, we become capable of anything. We become indifferent to suffering, even complicit in it. And that's how civilizations crumble, man. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. Not through external forces, but from within. It's a bleak picture, I know, but it's not too late. We can change course. We can choose to be better. Remember, the greatness of humanity is not in being human, but in being humane. Mahatma Gandhi. Let's strive to be better. Let's cultivate empathy, practice compassion, and start treating each other with the dignity and respect that we all deserve. The future of our civilization may depend on it.